Morning all.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions before we proceed? The last session. So we discussed about the client concept. We started with the projects, different projects, and what are the different documents will be prepared in that. So which phase we are going to as a consultant, which phase we are going to involve in the project, correct? Which phase we are going to involve in the project as a consultant?
The realization phase.
Realization phase, right? In any project, whatever may be the project, there would be a 3 servers and 3 clients, so minimum. That is right. And who is a client, right? We discussed who is the client. In SAP, client is a 3-digit code which starts from 000 to 999. So what does this client contains? So the client contains user master data, okay, and customization data, and as well as an application data. So already we discussed about these 3 things, correct? If I'm not wrong. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So here, what does actually SAP stands? We discussed, right? Somebody's missing. Okay, fine, no problem. Client concept. As I said that client, any client in SAP will start from how many digits? 000 to 999, 000 to 999. Clear? And I said, so this is the 3-digit code where SAP. So what does client contains? Client contains the data. Client contains the data. What kind of data? User master data. That is nothing but user records, user authorizations. Next one, customization data. We know that what is the configuration and customization. Client dependent, okay, customization data, client dependent customization data. Next one, application data. That is nothing but your transactional data and as well as your master data. So all things will be stored and saved in client. So and client means nothing but we will have a different, see, whatever jewelry you are having, whatever cash you are having, whatever precious ornaments you are having. So what we will do, we will keep in our almara, right? But in almara also we will have a different racks. So there may be 20 racks, 30 racks, 40 racks. So we will store it. In the same way, in one server, okay, we want to save the data. In one server, we want to save the data. So where we can save? So we will save that racks are nothing but here client. The racks are nothing but clients. So clients, how many clients we can create in one server? In the sense, it's a 3-digit code, numerical codes, right? From 000 to 999 numbers we can store. 000 to 999. So total 1000 clients we can do. 1000 clients we can do. Clear? So what are the records? Same thing what we discussed here. But so whenever we purchase SAP license, clear? So what SAP will give is, as I said that, okay, whenever we purchase SAP means client purchases, customer purchases licenses from SAP AG. Okay, SAP AG will give complete SAP dump. How many modules it will give? Complete 32 modules it will give. So out of that, in one server, they will give standard clients. That is nothing but 000 client. Okay, 001 client, 001 client, and 066 client. 066 client. So by default, SAP AG will give 3 different client numbers: 000 client, 001 client, 066 client. So whenever you are attending an interview, the interviewer may ask you, right, under which client environment you have worked. Who is your client is different. Again, I'm reiterating what environment, which client environment you have worked. Clear? So what does it mean? He is asking which that. So if we doesn't know, like we don't have a real-time experience, and we said that 000 client, or we said that 001 client, or 066 client, so they definitely caught that. Never ever use these three client numbers, which is SAP standard clients. These are SAP standard clients. I'll explain what are the data will be there in 000 client, 01001 client, and 066 client. And apart from that, SAP has dedicatedly given 800 client number, okay, for training environment. For training purpose, it has given. Understood? So, training purpose, SAP has given one pre-demonstration server, that which client number is 800. Understood? So whenever interviewer asks, don't give 3 digits codes. 000, 001, 066, and 800. 800, never ever use 8 series completely. 800 to 899 clients. Don't use it. Don't use it. Understood? So never ever, apart from this, you can give any number, 100, 110, 120, 150, 160, anything. But don't give this client numbers. If you said that I'm working as a consultant and I am having an implementation project, so definitely they may ask what, under which client environment, what client environment you have worked. So never ever use these terminologies. So you can say that I have worked on 110 client, or 130 client, or 220 client, 660 client, any number apart from this series. Understood? You can see here. So for example, this is my server. Okay, this is my user ID. See here. Sorry, actually I want to show the client number. See here, this is one server. For example, one more server I'll take. See here, client number, 800 client. So what is 800 client? What is it?
Training purpose. Training purpose.
So never ever use this particular server. Fine. So apart from these 3 servers or 800 series server, you can use any number. So what it will be there in 000 client? Just we will check in depth. Okay. In a physical SAP system, there can be multiple clients with standard installation. Okay. SAP delivers, means whenever we purchase SAP licenses, then SAP will deliver 000, 001, and 00 clients. Okay. So what it will be there in the, what kind of data will be there in these 3 clients? Okay. So client 000, client 000, remember this terminology. Client 000 is a reference client. It's a reference client, and it should not be deleted or changed at any time from the system. Okay. Use it for upgradation process. Okay. The customer uses client. Okay. This is different one. So here 000 client. 000 client is nothing but a reference client. For example, as soon as we purchase SAP licenses, then they will give client with 000. So it's already predefined, pre-configured data will be there in this particular 000 client. So we call it as a reference client also. We call 000 client as a reference client. Why we will call it as a reference client? So SAP already creates few companies, end-to-end activities it will provide in the system. So for example, you want to check and you want to practice, then what happens is in 000 client, few companies SAP will create end-to-end activities it will perform. Okay, so you can check that if, for example, you want to create a physical year, nothing but your financial year, you don't know how to create it, right? Then if you have a training environment, Okay, 000 client. Already SAP explains how to create a physical year variant or posting period variant, how to create a company, how to create a company code. All the steps will be written in this particular 000 client, right? So you can refer it. You can refer it. Okay, a kind of guide. You can use it. Okay, but we can't modify, we can't edit it, we can't delete the data in 000 client. So only we can view it and we can use it for reference purpose. Understood? Any questions on 000 client? 000, who will give this client will be given by SAP standard. So what purpose? For reference purpose. So all predefined configuration, right? Predefined settings will be provided in this 000 client. So user can view the data and for use, they can view the data for reference purpose. So that's the reason we call it as a reference client. We call it as a reference client. Any questions on this?
Nothing.
Okay. So same thing, we saw 000 client. Now, same data will be there. Here, what is the thing is, we can't edit it, we can't delete it, we can't modify it, correct? Just we can view it. The same data will be there in 001 client. The same data, whatever there in the 000 client, that will be there in 001 client also when we purchase the license. So the customer uses the client 001 as a sample client, Okay. After installation of both the clients are identical, both in the sense, what are the clients here? 000 client and 001 clients are identical. You will see the same data. Okay. But after an upgrade, client 000 has been additional customized. Just go through, just ignore this. What I'll say is 001 client is for you. We can practices. We can practice. What does it mean? In 000 client, we can't do any practice. We can only view the data, but we can't do any changes. But here in 001, you will have all the details similar like 000. But what you can do, you can edit, you can delete, you can modify, you can create your new environment. Understood? This is editable mode. We can change anything and everything. Is this clear? 000 only reference, and 001 we can view it, we can change it, we can create our own companies, our own company codes, anything we can do it. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. And one more thing, the most important, client 066, okay, is there for early watch service. Early watch service. So what does it mean, early watch service? For example, early watch service in the sense, for example, I'm a new consultant. I'm a new consultant in FI module, for example. So I have started my implementation project, right? And I am doing configuration. I'm doing configuration. So I am working under a client called client environment called, for example, I'm working under a client environment called 450 client. 450 client. And I have started configuration, right? I have started configuration and I'm reporting to one of the manager. I'm in Hyderabad and one of the manager who is sitting in Texas. Okay. Who is sitting in Texas, my manager. So he will have an access to client 066. So what does it mean? From this particular client, he is in Texas. From this particular client, whatever activity we are doing in 450, means whatever the configurations we are doing, how much configurations we have completed, everything online he can view. online, not after saving. Immediately he can, nothing but your screen sharing, what kind of screen sharing you will have, the same thing will be there in 066 client. Early watch client means before saving only, he will online, he will view what are the settings you are doing, what are the configurations you are doing, right? Everything is visible. Everything is visible. Yes, monitoring. Clear? Anyone have a questions on this? Early watch client. So only clear, only next level people, next managers, senior managers, project leads, project managers, product owners, project owners will have this kind of access. Means I'm a new consultant. Okay, I'm new consultant. I have started configuring the client requirements. So right. So after saving, again, they need to, instead of deleting and instead of doing any sort of modifications. So over there, your project owner or project lead, whatever we call, so that person will view. Okay, so that client, this particular client number will not have access to all. Okay, for specific roles, people only, they have these access, 066 access, early watch, we call it as. Is this clear? Any questions? So whenever we purchase SAP product, client means customer purchases the SAP project. So they will give the complete dump, as I said, that complete dump. Okay, right? So total 36 modules, as we know that it will give complete dump along with three different clients, along with three different client numbers. One is 000, one is 001, and 066. Clear? And we know 000 will contains what? Whatever data, predefined, pre-configured data will be there. What user can do, that is nothing but we call it as a reference client. Reference client. So we can view it. Okay, complete end to end. Every step will be there. See, again, I'm telling you, we need not to learn SAP from any outside. To be frank, you need not to learn from me or from my end also. Clear? If you have a patience, then we can purchase the licenses. Everything will be there. Predefined documentations will be there. We need to have a patience, that's it, to read everything. So everything you will get it in the SAP system itself, SAP server itself. Clear? Because of knowledge, because of documentation experience, or because of patience. Clear? So people will take a classes for this. Right? SAP gives you everything, all the documentation, all error code messages, details, everything they will have. It will provide. Because majority people ask me, like whenever I attend, whenever I'll take a demos or classes, people ask me, okay, I have completed my SAP course. Once I hit the floor, okay, if I have a challenge, I have a problem. Clear? If I face any challenge, who will help me? Who's gonna help me? But there is only one simple thing. You need not to depend on anyone. You need not to depend on anyone. Clear? Two things. SAP gives you a crystal clear information what kind of error you are facing. It will give you a full length message, it will give you. And same thing, simultaneously, for that error, what would be the solution? You can Google it. And it will give you a step by step. And most of the projects what I handled and I am working, because as I said that I am working, my major client is Apple client. And majority Apple, whatever configurations we are doing, so majority Apple projects are, whatever projects I'm handling right now, those are custom required project. Custom required means they are not going to follow SAP standard. As I said that, out of, as I said, that business processes are there 90, out of that 83 are SAP standard and other 7 are, they are not for. But over there in Apple project, if they have 100 processes, if they have 100 processes, they will follow 10 processes with SAP standard. Means directly we can do configuration only for 10 business processes. But how about other 90? We need to customize them. We need to customize. Apple is one of the SAP partner. Clear? Again, I'm reiterating, but majority 90%, they won't follow SAP standards. So everything need to be customized. Everything need to be customized. Is that clear? Any questions? Right? So this is nothing but early watch client. Early watch client. So next we have, okay, 000, same thing. So how SAP landscape? SAP landscape, what do you mean by any software? We will have a landscape. Any software, not only SAP, Oracle. If you take any ERP, any software, they will have a landscape. We call it as a landscape, right? System architecture, right? If you see C, C++, Java, whatever you have, right? They will have a system landscape. So they may ask you, what do you mean by system landscape? So normally landscape means how many servers minimum we have? How many servers we have minimum? When we purchase a
3.
minimum, any project we will have a minimum, and according to the data, we may have more, but I'll take a minimum 3 servers, right? So how we are going to arrange all the 3 servers? For example, my company is in Hyderabad. My company is in Hyderabad. Okay. So what are the servers I will have is nothing but, see here, you can see here. Development server means development server, quality server, and production server. 3 servers, development server and customizing server, quality server, and production server. So here, who will take care? Means who will do the configuration and customization? SAP consultants. Okay. Means whatever configurations, customizations we have done, we are going to do in development server. So 3 servers are there: development server, quality server. So here production server. This is the production server. All the developments, all the configurations, right? We will do it. Who are we here? Consultants, functional consultants. So this is after completion of this particular course where we need to see ourselves. We need to see ourselves as a consultants, right? It's a purely IT. Clear? And same time, we have another server. Means once every configuration and customizations are done, then the data will be moved from development server to quality server. Development server to quality server. So in development server, end users will not have any access. End users can't do anything in this. They can't view it also. Clear? So after that, the complete data will be moved from development server to quality server. Once the data is moved, okay, this particular server will have access for consultants and as well as end users. Right? Who are the consultants here? Who are the consultants? We, right? According to what is our development partner we have taken? Who is our development partner? As per our example.
Infosys.
Infosys, right? And who is our implementation partner?
That was something Reddy Lab.
Reddy Labs. Right?
Reddy.
End user is nothing but Reddy Labs. So both the teams, consulting team and end user team, will have access to quality assurance server. So what they will do, once the configuration and customization data is moved from development server to quality server, okay, all the testings will be performed here. The complete end-to-end business process testing, procurement testing, right? Procure to pay testing, HR activity testing, right? Material management testing, sales and distribution testing, marketing end-to-end testing will be performed in quality assurance test. So if everything is fine, one fine day, the data will be moved from quality assurance server to production server. Okay. And who will have access to production server? Only end users will have access to production server. Only end users. Even consultant will also have access, but they will have only display access. They can view it, but they can't edit it. They can't do any changes. Clear? If any issues are there, then end user will revert back to consultant. Consultant will do that changes in development server, and after that it will be transported to quality, and everything is done there. Then it will move to production. But as a consultant, we don't have we can't do any changes in production server directly. Only end user will do the real-time activities. Clear? Any questions here? See here, how the data will be moved. Architecture in the sense, how many servers, how we are going to arrange. Okay, so here, development server, the data, all the configuration and customization will be done from in development server. Once it's done, it will move. What we do, we will call them as a transportation. We'll call them as a transportation. For example, I'll tell you. In general Windows, what we will do is, for example, you have attended one interview, right? You have a 5 years of experience, and you have attended one interview and you have cracked it. And your HR asked, send your latest resume, send your Aadhaar card, PAN card, plus pay slips of three months and bank statement. And in your laptop or desktop, you have your PAN details, a PAN copy. Okay. And next one, you have your Aadhaar in your laptop on desktop. Next one, you have 3 months pay slips. 3 months pay slips. And you have 6 months bank statement on your desktop. 3 months bank statement. Okay. And what they asked, other thing they asked, passport size photograph. Passport size photograph. Next one, they asked one more thing, that is your passport copy. Copy of passport. So now these are there on your desktop. What you will do? Your HR asked to send an email. What you will do? It is having all separately. What you are going to do? You will send it separately, everything. Hope you got my point, understood my point.
Maybe we will.
Sorry, I didn't get you. I'm sorry, your voice is very, very low. Or your voice is cracking.
So maybe we will put everything into a zip folder and we will share it in one email.
What you use the term called? What we use? Zip,
zip
or normally we call it as a folder.
Compress folder.
A compress folder or folder, right? Folder. So here, see, I am having different thing, right? What I'm going to do, see here, I said SAP interview questions. So maybe different questions we have, right? Next one, I'm having a batch 23. So here, if I double click on here, so I can view SAP 23 recordings, SAP with this particular batch related. If I kept here on my desktop, it will be scratched. Correct. So I need to check again everything. Where are my details? They are asking 10 to 15 different details. Then if I need to check everything, then it will take times. If someone is asking me, where is I want SAP 23 details, right? Or I want to see the GST tax procedure. So here, if it is scattered here, then I need to check here. Clear? If someone is asking you where are the SAP interview questions, then I need to check here if it is different places, then I need to check it. So instead of that, what we are doing, we are saving in one particular folder. So all personal, so I'll name it as a personal. So all whatever related personal data is there, I will save in this particular folder. So in Windows environment, we call it as a folder. But when it comes to SAP environment, whatever data we are going to save, okay, we are not going to call it as a what we call folder. We are going to call it as a transport. We are going to call it as a what? Transport. The term transport, why we are using, I'll tell you. But the term folder, what we are using in Windows environment, in SAP environment, we call it as a transport. Means all the data we will save in one transport request. One transport request, we are going to save everything related to that particular company. For example, I am doing an implementation for what is the company? Ready Labs. So I'll do a lot of configuration, I'll do a lot of customization, but I need to save them. So where I'll save in one particular folder, and that folder in SAP, we call it as a transport request. So why we call it as a transport request? In the sense, so where we will do all the configuration, where we will do, we have 3 servers, right? Development server, quality server, and production server. Where we will do all the configuration and customization?
Development software.
Development server, correct? So everything we have completed for Ready Labs. We've done everything. Now, where need to be tested that whether it's working fine or not, even though we, as a consultant, we will do all the testings in development server also. But end user will not have access. End user in the sense, the person in the Ready Labs, right, will not have access to development server. So how we can explain them? So where we will test them?
In
Quality server. So here what we will do, the whatever data is there in development server related to that particular Ready Labs data, that we will move from Ready Labs to, development server to quality server. The movement we are doing, that is called transport. Clear? Why we are calling it? The folder we are moving. So the movement, right? We are calling it as a transport request or transport. So that's the reason in English, transport will have a different terminology. Traveling is different, transport is different. Okay, so here transportation. So we will do transport. So development server to quality server. So again, and if everything is tested, everything is fine, right? Then where we will move the data? From quality server to
production.
Production server means end users server. Okay. And see, again, here I have mentioned here arrow marks here. So here the data cannot be sent back from production server to quality to development server. Whatever data is there in production server, that will be final here. We can't send it back to quality server. Only we can exchange the data from development server to quality server to development server. But once it moved from quality server to production server, then from production server, because the customer privacy data will be there in this, in production server. So that's the reason the data will not be transported from production server to quality or development server. No reverse. Clear? Any questions here? Any questions?
Nothing from my end.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead.
So
Yes.
once after moving to the production, after that also if any issue is identified, will again the data will be moved from quality to only production, but not to production to quality, right?
Right. Exactly. So the same copy data will be there in quality server, but not your transactional data. Correct.
Okay.
The transactional data will be there only. What the end user will do, only transaction, nothing but invoice posting, that things, that activities will be performed. Correct. But whatever master data, right? I'll explain that. Whatever master data is there, that the copy will be there in quality server and as well as in development server. If you are facing, the end user is facing any challenges, if end user is facing, for example, he is not able to post entries in one fiscal year, right? Then what he will do? The end user will send a request, raise a ticket that this is the issue we are facing. Then that ticket will go to the consultant. Then we will have a customer support team. So that support team will receive the ticket and they will change in development server, and that will send it to quality server. Over there, testing will be done, and at the end, that will be sent it to production server. Clear? But the transactional data will not move from production server to quality to development. Is that clear? Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Next one. So we will see. What are the, I have taken only example here, client numbers. This is not SAP standard client numbers. Again, I'm telling you. So you can, in real-time environment also, you as a consultant, you may work on client 800, client 100, 110, 120. Again, I'm reiterating, whenever your interviewer is asking, what are the client environment you worked? But never ever you say 000 client number, 001 client number, 066 client number, and 800 client number. 8 series don't use at all. Again and again, I'm reiterating. But 100% the interviewer tried to pull our leg, because in SAP environment, 10% or 15% will have a genuine experience. Only 10 to 15% will have a genuine experience. And all majority are from end user experience or any other domain experience they'll have. What they will do, they will just modify their resumes, as we discussed earlier also, they will send it. So to test, the interviewer wants to test, because even he also came from a same environment. Means same. He didn't have a kind of real-time experience. So he himself modified his resume. So because he knows pretty well how to check. So that's the reason these basics things they'll try to check which client environment you have worked. So majority of people doesn't know that. Okay, they will practice in SAP. Okay, but they don't see the client number, which client number they are practicing. So they'll say that, okay, I'm working on client 800. I worked on client 800. So over there you caught. Over there, people will caught you. Any questions? Any questions here?
No.
Okay. So here I have taken few examples. So in development server, the server where all again I'm reiterating here, what is a development server? Right? As I said, that 3 servers minimum we will have. Okay. Development server, the server where all configuration and customization will be done according to implementation partner. Nothing but implementation partner is nothing but customer. As per customer requirement, all the configuration and customization will be done. Right? Here, Reddy Labs, we are doing project for Reddy Labs. Right? And we are Infosys consultants. So as per the requirement of Reddy Labs, we will do all the configuration and customization in which server? Development server. Okay. There will be many clients in development server. So there may be one client or there may be any number of clients in one particular server in development server also. So for example, I have taken one client number in development server. We are going to discuss about development server. So in development server, we have a client number as a 100 client. Now same thing. So whenever you open a client, development client, so here instead of 800 what client you will find 100 client. Client 800. So what is this client actually? I'm taking this as an example. So in real time, you may have 100, you may not have 100. But if someone is asking you, which client environment you have worked, you can say that 100 client I have worked. Okay. Next, they'll ask, what is a sandbox client? They will ask, what is a sandbox client? So sandbox client number, it's not mandatory that it will have 100 client. Anything it could be. Okay. 000 is a sandbox client. But remember the terminology called sandbox, whatever term we are using. So what do you mean by sandbox client? It's an optional client. It's an optional client. Why an optional? See, it is a practicing system, or we can call it as a test configuration client. Whenever we purchase server. Okay. So here I am a new consultant. I have joined new consultant. I'm working as a new. So the project needs to come actually. Still we have not started Ready Labs project, but server is already there. So I am a new consultant. Okay. All the predefined data will be there in the system. As I said, 000 client, already the data will be there. So there is a, for example, 10 days time is there to go to live. Okay. Then what we will do for practice purpose. Okay. So we call it as a sandbox client. Sandbox in the sense you can write anything in sand and you can rub it at any point of time. Correct. So we call it as a sandbox client. It is a practicing system. We will do all the practicing over here. Or okay. And all the test configuration client, we can do it. Okay. In this, because is it a real configuration are we doing, or only testing, or only we are practicing it?
We are practicing it.
Only practice. So that whatever practice you will do, for that no transport request will be generated, means no folder will be get created here. Okay. No transport request will be generated. Whatever we do in this server stays in and never reflected in some other server. It will be there as long as you won't rub it. It will be there in your client 800. That is nothing but your sandbox client. It will be there, but it will not move to other clients, other servers. Understood this? So one more server. This is sandbox client. Remember that the terminology sandbox client. And one more server we will have. One more client we will have, golden client. I took a golden client example as a 110. 110. Okay. What is a client number? In real time, this could be different one. But I took 110. In interview also, you can say that 110. Not an issue. So configuration client or golden client, we call it. Okay. So redo to perfection is done inside golden client. Redo perfection, right? The real-time configuration will be done in client 110. The real-time configuration will be done in client 110. It is a neat client. It is a neat client. That's the reason. So golden client, configuration client, or neat client is one and the same. The three terminologies. Neat client, because we won't do and erase everything here. So whatever configuration we want to do, first we will check thoroughly and we will start working. Clear? So that's the reason we will call it as a neat client, golden client, or configuration client. Okay. Cannot be used for trial and try purpose. So whatever we are using in this, we can't do any trials or we can't do any try purpose. Okay. In this, the real configuration will be performed. In this, the real configuration will be performed. And whatever configuration we do, and for every save, whenever we save, then the transport request will be generated here in this particular client. Okay. We call it as a golden client. The real-time activities will be performed. Next one, there is one more client, client object development client. Object development client. Okay. So again, I'm telling you, as a SAP consultant, okay, people call as a software engineers, SAP consultants, your designation you are going to get, okay, at your client as a software engineer, senior software engineer, or senior project lead or project lead. So even we are getting a tag called software engineer. Okay. We will get consultant, every consultant will get a tag called software engineer. Okay. So, but still, we know that in our schooling or college level, we think that only B.Tech people becomes a software, or M.Tech people or MCAs will become a software. And we have a one more, this one, that whoever is a software employee, he will write a programming. He will write a programs, correct? Even though SAP consultants are also known as a software engineers, but throughout our career, as I said earlier also, we are not going to write a single line program. We are not going to write a single line program. Remember that. Okay. So here, whatever SAP standard is there and end user requirement is there. So SAP already provided SAP standards, right? So those, as a consultant, we need to configure it. The requirements of customer, SAP already provided, and according to the customer requirement, as in between, as a consultant, we need to configure them, map them, we need to map it. Okay. But something which customer is expecting, which is not there in SAP. Customer wants some specific requirement, but which is not there in SAP standard. Okay. Then what we will do, we will take that requirement from customer. Okay. And we have a programmers backend. We will have a programmers. We call that programmers as ABAPers, advanced business application programmers. So we will explain them. This is a client requirement. They need a screens like this. So you have to develop it. So 90% we map it with SAP standard with client environment, client requirement. But 10% we are not able to map because that is a customer specific requirement, which is not there in SAP standard. Then what we will do as a consultant, we will go to ABAPer, right? And we will ask them to develop according to the requirement of customer. So we will call that as a customization, right? See, if you go to a restaurant, common food, if we are there, we requested, then we call it as a configuration. That is same thing. But one customer want more spices. Okay. According to the requirement, the chef will add the spices. And someone doesn't require more spices. So this is special requirements. The standard what chef is preparing, that is called configuration. Okay, whatever the customer is required, according to that he prepares, then that is considered as a customization. Okay, and whenever the customization will be done by ABAPer, then they will have a separate client. Okay, and that client we will call it as an object development client. What is our client? Golden client or configuration client. But here we call it as an object development client. So we will write all the programs to develop the screens. Okay, in the backend, he will write the programming. Every screen in SAP, so FB60, whatever posting screens, in the backend, that will be developed in a programming language called ABAP. Remember that. Okay, and after that, object development client, what special requirements of customers. So that client, we call it as an object. So do we have access to that as a consultant? No, it's a purely ABAPer's screen, ABAPer client. Okay, so programming will be written according to customer requirement, which are not possible or which are not able to map with standard SAP system. Is this clear? So two clients, one is for configuration, another one is for customization. Okay, so this is, we call it as an object development client. Next one, client 130. Client 130. Okay, after whatever development we have done, configurations we have done, so there would be testing we need to do. As a consultant, we need to do the testing, because what kind of testing in development server we need to do? After redo process, means after doing these two processes, we will transport the developed objects to development test client. So this is called a test client. Okay, So we will call it as a unit test client. Unit test client in the sense, for example, okay, all the configurations and customization, whatever there. So we have a different departments, right? So for example, we have a finance department, we have a HR department, we have a purchasing department, we have a marketing department, we have production and planning department. So the software is ready here. Everything is configured and custom. So here, department wise, whatever testing we will check end to end, procure to pay, right? R to R, OTC, clear? Whatever end to end activities testing we perform, that we call it as a unit test client. So we will do in this particular environment. So we call that as a unit test client. Unit is nothing but part, product to product, process to process. Clear? So configuration will be tested by functional consultant and customizations will be tested by ABAPers. Okay, via transport request. Nothing but the data will be stored in this transport request. Okay, again, remember, so here is it within the client or within the server or one server to another server? Is it within the client 100, client 110, 120, 130? Is it in one server or different servers?
In one server.
One server. So here we want to move from client, the data we need to move from, okay, client 110 to client 120, client 120 to client 130. Okay, this movement within server, the data needs to be moved. Then that will be performed by functional consultant. We will do it. We will do it. Okay. Within server, if we want to move the data from one client to another client, then we will move the transport request from one client to another. We in the sense who are we here? Functional consultant. Okay. And now it is done here. So now we have completed all the testing and everything is fine. Now where it need to be transported? Where it needs to be transported now?
Quality server.
Quality server. So the data need to be transported from development server to quality server. So development server is a one server and quality server is a different server. Correct? So whatever data we are moving from one server to another server, clear? Who will perform this activity in the sense, as a functional consultant, we want to move the data from one server to another server. If it is within a server, then we will move it as a functional consultant. But if the data need to be moved from one server to another server, then there is as I said, that there will be a technical team. Okay, technical team, we have ABAPers and basis consultants. So we will give the transport request number to basis consultant. They are purely technical persons. So what they will do, whatever transport request number, because completely everything we will store, save in that particular transport request number. And we will give the transport request number to basis consultant. Then they will move the data from development server to quality server. Right? Within the server, as a functional consultant, we can move from one client to another client. But if the data need to be moved from one server to another server, then who will move it? As a functional consultant, do we need to do that? No, absolutely not. We can't do that. We don't have that access. Who will have access to that? Only basis consultant. Basis is nothing but a technical consultant who will create your user IDs, passwords, who will maintain the SAP servers, right? Your SAP systems. So those persons are nothing but basis consultants. So they will move the data from one server to another server. Okay. So here it is a quality assurance server. So again, now the data is moved in quality assurance. Okay. So now I'm taking, again, we will have a number of clients in this. Again, we will have a number of clients in this particular server. So that is nothing but client 200. Okay. Once the data is configured and customized in development server, then that will be transported, nothing but transferred. Okay. The data from development server to quality server. Who will do that? By the basis consultant, technical consultant. Once the data is received in quality assurance server, okay, Then CTMs, nothing but end user team who involved in this particular project. Okay, the CTMs, core team members, will test the real data. What they will do? They will test the real data. Okay, there are 3 types of tests will be performed. Again, if you say any testing project, then they may ask you what are the testers you are involved with the CTMs. Then first test, unit testing, already we discussed. Nothing but AP department. From AP side, accounts payable side, there are 4 members involved in this particular project. And from accounts receivable side, 5 members are involved. From MDM side, 6 members are involved, right, in their process. So they will check their process. Accounts payable department, 4 people will check whether it is working perfectly or not. Complete process, right? AR team will check complete process. Cash management team will check complete process. Master data management team will check complete process. Clear? So individual wise they will do it. That's the reason we will call it as a unit testing. That is called unit testing. Next one, we will have integration testing, right? Integration testing. What do you mean by integration testing? So accounts payable module and AR module, 2 separate processes. But cash flows and see, whenever I want to pay some amount of accounts payable, right, where I need to get that. See, AP is nothing but credit purchases. AR is nothing but your credit sales. So, and you will receive in AR, we will receive the cash, and in AP, we will pay the cash, right? So, if I want to pay my vendors, so from where I need to get the money? Because AR people will sell the goods, right? Or goods or services, and they will generate a revenue. And from that revenue, we are going to pay our credits, right? So here AP is separate department, AR is separate department. So we need to make a link between AP, AR. So that is called integration. Means the process will start at one point and the process will end in another point. The process will start in one module and the process will end in other module. Like FI module, it will start, probably it may end with material management, module, procure to pay module. So here everything need to be integrated. So we will check, the CTMs will check, is it integration testing they will do. So they will start from finance and they will check in So is it the flow is going correct or not? So that is called integration testing. Integration testing. Okay. So integrated testing, it starts with one module and ends in another module. In this test will be done to check each module is integrated, nothing but linked, okay, or not. Perfectly it is integrated or not. Okay, next one, we will test one more testing, that is UAT testing. Okay, user acceptance test. User acceptance test. So nothing but it's not a real-time test. Means it will not be checked in the testing, system check. Okay, once unit testing and unit testing, integration testing, these 2 testings are done. These 2 testings are done. The end user, nothing but CTMs, will prepare one document stating that what they will mention, the process, everything working perfectly. We have done unit testing, we have done integration testing, we took some scenarios, what scenarios we have taken, everything they will mention in that document. Okay, and they will sign it. So that testing, we call it as a UAT testing. So again, interviewer may ask you, have you ever involved in UAT testing with your customer? What are the activities you have done? Clear? So never ever say that's a unit testing. Unit testing is something different. UAT is something different. Means nothing but end user acceptance test. So after these 2 tests, they will say that everything is fine. If everything is fine, they will mention it as an everything is fine. If nothing is fine, then they will mention clearly that. Is that clear? Any questions here? Any questions?
No.
Okay. Next one we will do. Once the UAT is done, next one, In client 210, we will give training will start. Okay, trainings, because the end user, Ready Labs, first time they are using the SAP in their organization. So the employees of this particular, the management of this particular Ready Labs will not have a knowledge on SAP. They don't know how to use the application. Correct. So we will as a consultant, we will schedule 2 different trainings, like training 1. Okay, training 1 in one client, that is 210 client. I'm taking example again, I'm telling you. So training to end users and super users. Okay, so super users and end users, we will give the trainings. Nothing but initial people and next level people, assistant managers or whoever are there, or so these people we will give the trainings. Super users we call them. Okay, so with the help of functional consultants, with the help of CTMs, functional consultants will give the trainings. To whom? End users and super users. Super users are nothing but lower level employees to next level. It could be team lead, it could be a assistant manager in any other organization, management trainees or whoever it is that they comes under super users. Next one, client to 220. So one more training we are going to give. One more training we are going to give with the help of CTMs, training to power users, nothing but high level people, managers who need to approve. Earlier they were using Tally. So there will not be any approval process in Tally. Clear? Now they are using SAP. So they don't know how to approve anything, like whatever your payments or right. They don't know how to approve them. So we are going to train them how the flow will take place and how they need to approve. Okay, so we will give 2 trainings. One is for end users and super users, and one is for power users. Is this clear? Any questions here? Any other questions? Next one, we have one more server. So till here quality. So everything is done here. Trainings are done. Then the data is transported from quality assurance server to production server. Production server is nothing but the real-time server. The real activities will be performed in production server. I'll tell you what is this. In production server, there will be 2 types of clients. 2 types of clients will be there in production server. One is pre-production client. Pre-production client. Okay, what is that? For example, I took client number as in 300. Pre-production client in the sense, for example, my company Ready Labs is there from 20 years in the market. And they were using a Tally or Oracle or any other BAN or JD Edwards. They are using different softwares. Right? Now they have moved from after 20 years of data was there in Tally or any other software. Now they moved from Tally to SAP. The software is new, but not the company. Not the company. Company is existing since 20 years. But the software, what they are introduced, is a new to them. Okay. Then what will be there in the pre-production client? In pre-production client, we are going to load all the legacy data. Again, I'm using the term called legacy. Legacy, people will think that legacy means outdated systems. No, it's not like that. In SAP environment, the systems are divided into 2 types, SAP systems and non-SAP system. SAP system and non. If someone is using Oracle, Tally or any other thing, we call it as a non-SAP systems. And in SAP terminology, again, non-SAP systems are considered as a legacy systems for SAP. Legacy system. Now, whenever I use a term called legacy, people are coming back. It's a outdated system, but still our companies are using it. No, it's not outdated. For SAP, it's a legacy. Means it's a non-SAP system. Understood? So in pre-production client, we are going to load. Okay. So as I said that Ready Labs was using from past 20 years Oracle financials. Clear? So the data will be there. The data will be there. Clear? In that particular system. So that entire data will be uploaded from Oracle to or tally to SAP? Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, we are going to load all the legacy data of client. Okay, the data may be what kind of data? It could be a master data, or the data may be a transactional data. The data may be a master data, or a data may be a transaction. So everything I want to do it. We will upload everything. So the process of upload is also, I'll tell you what is this. Okay, so here master data. What do you mean by master data? GL master data, vendor master data, customer master data, bank master data, or tax master data, or tax master, anything we call it. What is the difference between master data and transactional data? Last session I said, what is the difference?
Master data means the data which cannot be changed, and transactional
Not
master data
frequently.
which will
We
get
can't
changed.
say that which cannot be changed. We can say that master data will not change frequently.
Okay.
Okay.
Transactional data can change.
Yeah. Don't use that we can't change it. We can change it, but not frequently. If we are changing frequently, then that will not become a master data. So master data, transactional data. Master data is that data which will not change frequently. Clear? Next one, transactional data. Okay. So the transactional data is nothing but the day-to-day transactions which are performed in GL master. We will do GL postings, vendor postings, customer postings, bank postings, tax postings. These are the transactions. So today we may post for one GL account 10,000. Tomorrow we may post for 25,000, and other day we may post for 5,000. So that will be get changed. But GL account, vendor account, customer account, bank account, tax account will not be changed. Your name, is it a master data or transactional data?
Master.
Master data, your own residence. Your own residence.
Master data too.
Master data. So we can check what kind of data is a master data. Okay. So here, so now we are master data and transactional data are in which system? Oracle system. Means our client was using, for example, I'm saying our client was using Oracle. For example, the existing legacy system they were using is Oracle. Now everything they need to move, the master data need to be moved and transactional data need to be moved in SAP system. So the movement of data will perform in two different ways. Okay, remember this. To upload the data from legacy system, again I'm telling you, legacy instead non-SAP system to SAP, we have tools. We use tools called LSMW tool and BDC tool. Remember this terminology, LSMW tool and BDC tool. Okay, what is LSMW? Nothing but legacy system migration workbench. Means whatever data is there in your legacy system that can be migrated from non-SAP to SAP. Okay, then that is called legacy system migration. Okay, and one more tool we have, BDC, batch data conversion. Batch data conversion. So what is the difference between these two? LSMW. In our project, I'm going to show you LSMW, but BDC, it's not possible to show here, but I can show you the examples. So what is LSMW? In this tool, no need to write any program. No need to write any single program. It is a functional consultant tool. Whose tool is this? Whose tool is this?
Functional consultant.
Who is the functional consultant here? We are. So we can migrate the data by using LSMW tool from legacy to SAP. I'll show you the complete process. There are total 14 steps will be there. So I'll show you the complete steps. Okay. The functional consultant can upload the data. Okay. The data is very small. Okay. The company is very small. Then we can use this LSMW. But if the data is huge, for example, if my client is Reliance, and automatically they have a number of businesses, activities of businesses. So the number of transactions, master data will be more. So if you start doing LSMW, it will kill all your time, lifetime it will kill you, right? So we will go with the BDC. Okay, batch data conversion. Okay, if we want to upload data through BDC, then we need to write a program. But are we going to write a program?
No.
As I said that we are not, throughout our career as a consultant software engineer, we are not going to write a single line program. But okay, single line program we are not going to do. And okay, so it is a programming concept. The PDC is a programming concept. So we need to take the help of ABAPer. Who will write a program? ABAPer will write a program. So we need to take a help of ABAPer. ABAPer will write a program, and automatically that the data, complete data will be migrated from legacy system to SAP. Any questions? Till here, LSMW, BDC. I know it's a new terminology, but it will take little time. Once we go through those things, steps, it's very easy to understand. Fine. Okay. So next one, once the master data and transactional data is uploaded, means migrated, then we will do one more testing. Here we, in the sense, the CTMs, end users will do one more testing. Okay, called regression testing. What do you mean by regression testing? Regressive testing or regression testing? Do you heard about regression testing anytime? In statistics, we have a regressions. You remember? So regression testing is nothing but the testing on real data. Till now, we took examples and everything, and we have done the testing. But here in the production environment, we are going to test because the old data is migrated. So with that data, we will test everything is moved or not. So that testing, we call it as a regression testing. So what do you mean by regression testing? Regression testing is nothing but testing with the real data. Then that is considered as a regression testing. Unit testing, clear. User acceptance testing, integration testing, regression testing. 4 different testings we have done. Okay, with real data. In this, we, in the sense, we consultants and CTMs will test the critical scenarios. We will just view it, but CTMs will do the critical scenarios. Okay, next one. So once this project, once everything is fine, then the data will be moved to client 400. So one more client in production system only. Go live, that is go live. Okay, everything is done. Okay, approved and verified data. Approved, who will approve? So the BPOs, business process owners and CTMs, once they approved, once they tested, okay, verified data will be transported to production client. Okay, the live data will be available in production data. So in client 400, the live data will be there. So the client will go for go live. Go live. Okay, once the go live, then there will not be any testing. The real-time activities will be performed. Any questions? So this is end-to-end your implementation project. Okay, end-to-end in implementation. So we have covered everything point to point. So what kind of, in any project, a real-time project, implementation project, what are the different documentations will be prepared? Clear. What do you mean by project preparation phase? Right, in that project preparation phase also, what kind of documentations we have prepared, and after that business blueprint phase, in that also what kind of documentations we will prepare. In that, what is the signing process we saw, right? Next one, we saw the client concept, what is client and what is server, right? How many servers will be involved in one particular project, clear? And how the data will be migrated and what are the different testings will be done in real time and as well as in development server, clear? And system architecture, we discussed, clear. And next one, what are the different servers we use and what is the naming convention of that particular server? So any questions here? Any questions before I proceed to next? Yes, no.
No, nothing from my end.
Okay. How about others? I know it's a little challenging because of initial level, but majority are end users, senior level people are also there here, are there in this particular session. Okay, for them, probably no. Okay. Okay. So one more project, I'll just quickly discuss on this and we will wind it up. So support or maintenance project. So as soon as you complete this particular course, as soon as you complete this for 5 months or 6 months, so complete not course, mid of the course only, I said, I promised you people, if you do the practice pretty well, then within 5 months, you can see yourself in as a software consultant or SAP consultant. I'm promising right now also, 5.5 months. If you practice thoroughly, then you can see yourself as a SAP consultant. Okay. So as soon as you join, as soon as you crack your interview, but majority 90%, 95%, we won't get implementation project. We won't get implementation project. Normally, I'm telling you. Okay, even though you are experienced people and you have changed from one company to another company, so probably in that case also, at least 70% you won't get implementation project. We are going to get support or maintenance project. Support or maintenance project. Clear? Most of the projects, again, whatever company I work, so 90% projects are on support and maintenance projects, right? I'm handling only 2 projects. In my this thing, I'm handling 3 different projects. In that, out of that, my team is supporting, is involved in supporting project, and the other 2 projects are implementations. And one is rollout project also I'm handling. Okay, so here majority I'm saying as soon as you hit the floor, so you will get support and it's easy to handle support and maintenance project if you have a skill set. That's it. Because we will have a breathing time if we get in support project. So we can learn lot of things once we select us in support project. 90% you will get this project only. Okay, so what is mean by support or maintenance project? We know that now our customer is Reddy Labs, right? Reddy Labs company already implemented, means already we have implemented, okay, implemented SAP in their company. During the work, if any type of issues they come across, as I said that they have newly implemented and the application is new to them, right? Anything if it's new to us, then we will have a little sort of confusion to use it, correct? Then to avoid this difficulty, the company will give project to any software company, like same Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, or any company they will give. And same thing, Infosys, Accenture, or they will form their own IT division. So instead of depending on third-party companies, third-party software companies, what they will do is they will make their own IT department, information technologies department, with different few SAP consultants, technical as well as functional. So they may have their own SAP consulting team, complete. Okay, their own IT division, okay, to support the project. Whenever they come across issues while using SAP, then the end user escalates in the form of tickets. So any organization nowadays, we have ticketing tools. Depends upon company to company, whatever the ticketing tools. Every support projects team, every support project team mandatory should have ticketing tool. Means we are from Infosys and Reddy Labs. So we need to have a one common ticketing tool between us. For example, they have given the support project to us, right? So again, the team size would be 5 to 20 members. Again, I'm telling you, it's not accurate 5 to 20. I'm saying approximately. Approximately, the team size would be 5 to 20 members. And the project duration, what would be the support project duration? 1 to 5 years. So that's the reason majority consultant will wants to work as a support project. Why? Because the timeline is very much more, 1 to 5 years. So you will have a lot of breathing time in this particular project. So you will have a lot of job security. Clear? And a lot of learnings will be there in meanwhile 1 to 5 years in the sense. The people or the person who involved in support project from IT companies, from Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, NTT Data, Edge Technologies, right? Or Tech Mahindra, okay, are known as support consultants, Okay. So support consultants, support projects are of 3 types. Again, so support projects are of 3 types. So one is ticket-based support, production-based support, and go-live support. Okay. So what is this? Production support, ticket-based support, go-live support. So I'll tell you each and everything. Ticket-based support. When company is using SAP, then they may face some problems. Okay, then the end user organization and SAP support organization. So end user organization, Ready Lab, support organization, for example, Infosys, will maintain some ticketing tool, common ticketing tool like ServiceNow, okay, Remedy tool, or any other ticketing tool. So whenever user face the problem, then they will raise the ticket in the tool by explaining the issue. Depth explanation they will give. The tickets are broadly classified into 3 types. I'm taking example. Again, I'm taking urgent priority tickets, nothing but 4 hours. Say not a solution here. Whenever I'm saying 4 hours, then that needs to be addressed. The ticket need to be addressed within 4 hours. Okay. High priority tickets, urgent tickets, 4 hours start, turnaround time. And high priority tickets, 24 hours. Within 24 hours, they need to address, not solution. Address. That they need to address that, okay, we have received your ticket and we are working on that. That we need to inform. Okay. And medium priority ticket. So 48 hours. Okay. Tickets. SLA is nothing but service level agreement. So this is called ticket-based support. Means once we rectify, we will reply them into same ticketing tool only, and we will close the ticket from our end. Or end user will also close the ticket. Okay, this is called ticket-based support. Next one, production support. What do you mean by production support? So normally we won't get this project. Production support, we won't get it. We will be there in ticket-based support or go-live support. So what do you mean by a production support? 24/7 support through internal communicator, or say, for example, now majority companies are using Teams. Okay, one support team common email ID will be created. Okay, so if we text them that we are facing this issue, okay, then that is called internal communicator, or through toll-free number. Every company will have support team, will have a one toll-free number. So whenever issue received through a call or through a chat, it needs to be addressed on priority. So here we don't have any SLS for addressing. Resolution we can give, can take time. But address in the sense, if you receive a call, immediately you will everything update and you will update a ticket from your end. So that is called production support. Okay, next one, go live support. Go live support. So what do you mean by that in the sense? So we have done as a Infosys, we have implemented SAP in what we call Ready Labs, correct? So after implementation, whatever support means, we at the time of agreement only we will discuss. So once we complete the project, then we will give 3 months to 6 months support. We will give 2 months or 6 months. Means whatever issues you people are facing, we will support, we will address them and we will resolve it. So that project, that would be a free of cost, because that will be charged at the time of production only, at the time of project agreement only. Okay, so go live support. After implementation, whatever support we give, we in the sense Infosys or Accenture IT team will give, that support will call as a go live support. The time of duration of go live support will be minimum 2 months and maximum 6 months, not more than that. That will be addressed in free of cost. 2 to 6 months. See, whatever product you purchase, you will have a warranty and guarantee 1 year or something. Once it's expired, then definitely we need to pay. So this is about this one, support project. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, no.
Nothing.
Okay. What we will do is it would be a little higher. So what I'll do, we will call it for today here itself, and we'll continue tomorrow the other rest projects. And tomorrow I'll show you how to log in, how the system looks like, SAP screens, and everything in tomorrow's session I'll explain. And mostly next Friday, you will get all your credentials, SAP credentials. I'll give you the server access and everything by on or before Friday. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Thank you. So tomorrow we will discuss about SAP screens, how to log in, and how the menu bar, what is the each and every, how to create a shortcut keys and all those stuff. In tomorrow's sessions, I'll explain. Fine, everyone.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you all. See you in tomorrow's session. Thank you.
Thank you.